Whoopsie-daisy, I did a monthly wrap-up before the end of the month. I was personally surprised to hear that there are actually 5 Saturdays in May, so this is the end of the month, and it was a surprise, so I pulled together 5 of my favorite books with surprise endings to share with you today. Let's check it out. Hi there, I'm Michelle for the Goffstown Public Library, where I'm an adult services librarian. My job is to bring the information you want or need to you when you want or need it. And even though I'm not physically in the library today, I hope I can do just that, which is why I'm coming to you for the 8th episode of Book Talk with Michelle. Today, I've got 5 books with surprise endings to share. Of course, I won't be telling you what the surprise endings are because that would just ruin all the fun. But I will be ranking my top 5 from weakest surprise to strongest surprise. First up, We Could Be Beautiful by Swan Huntley. The only way I could have liked this book better is if I wasn't waiting for something horrible to happen the whole time. It was totally a slow burn. Let's set the stage. Catherine is used to getting what she wants. She has a beautiful Manhattan apartment, a personal trainer, masseuse, and cook, and enough money to constantly redecorate with fine art. But predictably, money can't buy happiness, and Catherine's left wanting something more. Specifically, she's hoping for a family of her own after a string of broken relationships. And then she meets William Stockton, and it seems like this book is now going to be a romance novel, a tedious one at that. But the eerie narration never lets up. The distant and measured writing voice paradoxically had me engaged the whole time, almost to the point where I was begging the narrator, Catherine, to just tell me already, please. The pace of it all was purposefully slow, and that was at odds with the fast-paced lifestyle the characters were leading. That discordance really put me on edge. Watching New York City through the eyes of this neurotic woman and seeing it creep by is like sitting in the calm before a storm. Everything is almost too settled. That is, until it isn't. Catherine's life begins to break apart, exposing how she's been blinded by privilege. Will Catherine be able to give up the beautiful life she's come to love in order to find the truth? Well, at the climactic moment, I can tell you I let out a dramatic sigh because since the first chapter, I have been waiting with bated breath for the other shoe to drop. All in all, this is a rather tame thriller. I will give it a content warning for sexual assault, but there's not gore or horror in any other way. I'd recommend We Could Be Beautiful for fans of Before I Go to Sleep by S.J. Watson or Behind Her Eyes by Sarah Pinborough. Both have the same themes of lives that are too good to be true and people who aren't exactly who they say they are. When I read it, I gave it a 5 because of the strong dose of enjoyable suspense. Not like it's the best book I've ever read, but it really hooked me in. Number 4 was a book that I read for book club. I never would have picked it up myself, which is too bad because Crooked Letter is a fantastic mystery. Well, actually, it's considered an atmospheric drama set in rural Mississippi, but still, it's a darn good mystery. In the 70s, Scary Larry Ott and Silas 32 Jones are the best of friends, even though they live very different lives. Larry is the son of a white middle-class family, and Silas is the son of a poor single black mother. Despite being unable to talk to each other at school because of the racial divide, they form a close friendship. That is, until tragedy strikes. Larry takes a girl on a date and she's never heard from again. Assumed dead, Larry's implicated in the crime, but he's never charged and he never confesses. However, that alone is enough to break up the boys' friendship. 20 years later, Larry is still living as a social pariah in the same small town. Silas has finally come home to that small town to be the constable. When another girl goes missing, Larry's the first to be blamed. The two, now men, must confront the past they've worked hard to ignore. Secrets can't stay buried forever. The crimes in the book aren't explicit, but they are horrible, so here's another content warning for sexual assault and violence. That being said, it's just really not the author's style to dwell on the grotesque and the horrible in order to create atmosphere. In fact, Franklin has been compared to the greats of Southern literature like Harper Lee and Flannery O'Connor for his ability to create a distinctly Southern atmosphere. The oppressive heat and prejudice that surround this community are expertly captured in this book. Crooked Letter is great for fans of police procedurals or more whodunit style mysteries, although the tension in this book could absolutely throw it into suspense thriller territory. This book could also be good for fans of small town dramas, like those of Richard Rousseau, or for fans of Southern Gothic fiction. It's got the pacing and excitement of a great mystery and the depth and emotion of a literary classic. Crooked Letter truly has something for everything, and I really enjoyed it. I hope you will too. The oddball out on this list is We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. It's a young adult fiction novel and number 3 on my list. If I were to tell you this is the atmospheric mashup of King Lear, The Great Gatsby, and Catcher in the Rye, well, you'd probably tune out and write this book off as way too pretentious. But that being said, it is compulsively readable. Written in stylized prose, We Were Liars delivers on every front. There's a terrible secret, money, greed, and unrequited love, and plenty of adventure. Katie, our protagonist, spends every summer with the Sinclair clan on Martha's Vineyard. The Sinclairs are an unbelievably wealthy family with the predictable fights about money and greed. Katie is the leader of the 4 liars, the teenaged grandchildren of the clan. And like I said, she spends every summer with them. That is, until the accident. It's been 2 years and Katie is back to finally start remembering about what happened that fateful summer. To be honest, I don't even want to say more. The back of the jacket blurb for this book says almost nothing about the plot, and I don't want to be the one to spoil it for you. The less you know, the better about this book. I will caution, the writing style might not be for everybody, and this is another book about rich people problems, like We Could Be Beautiful. But if you pass on it, you'll definitely be missing a fast-paced, electric summer suspense novel, unlike any others, and very deserving of the praise that it was given. We Were Liars should definitely be on your to-read list this summer because the ending will leave you breathless. Number 2, My Sister's Bones by Nuala Ellwood was another book club pick. You know, I think it's a little unusual for a book club to read so much suspense. So if these are the kind of books that you're interested in, I would suggest checking out the link in the description because your reading life might fit really well with what the Goffstown Public Library's book discussion groups are reading, and we would love to see you there. But I digress. My Sister's Bones follows successful war reporter Kate. She was the daughter who got away, who left the hometown and the family behind her. But now she's back, following her mother's death. Her first night staying in her mother's house, she's awakened by a scream. Is this her PTSD, or is this the beginning of a terrible secret? I've really got to sing this book's praises for its depiction of PTSD and alcoholism. The unreliable narrator element of these stories allowed the author to really expand on the disorienting nature of these disorders. Ellwood does more than tell you what PTSD is like. She shows you through Kate's unraveling. It's really the strong point of the narrative. Overall, it's a fast-paced read that I was really excited to tear through, but gosh, it gets dark. There's trauma behind every corner, so here's a content warning for child abuse, substance abuse, war, miscarriage, and violence. I think this is a great read for traditional thriller fans. It really hits all the beats. But this doesn't take the top spot for my best surprise ending because the twist is so far out of left field. It tested my suspension of disbelief. But like I said, it is a twist, so it's high up here. That is one twisty twist. But no, it doesn't get the top spot on my best surprise endings. That honor goes to Final Girls by Riley Sager. Sager is now known for his horror thriller fiction, of which this is the first, and gosh, this is a really strong debut. Quincy Carpenter was the only survivor of a horror movie-like massacre that left her 5 friends dead and her running, bleeding through the woods. The media branded Quincy a final girl, along with 2 other young women, Sam and Lisa, who survived similar, although completely unrelated ordeals. In the present, Quincy has worked hard to put that media frenzy and that horrible night behind her, which admittedly has been a little easier than it should have been, accounting for her strange amnesia surrounding the event. She thinks she's doing well, maybe even great. Of course, that's until Lisa winds up dead and Sam winds up at Quincy's doorstep. The facade starts to crumble and Quincy has to work harder than ever to keep the past in the past, but memory seems intent on bubbling up. Before the final bloody moments, everything Quincy thought she knew has to be reckoned with. Now, as I've been going through these reviews, I've left out the crucial bit of information that I am the most gullible reader out there. I fall for everything and almost never guess the ending. Which is why when I was reading Final Girls, I was so disappointed that I thought I had it all worked out. But That was all part of Sager's master plan. He had me hook, line, and sinker, worrying about the wrong things and mistrusting the wrong people. The ending completely took me by surprise. I let out an audible gasp when all was revealed. I recommend this book for fans of horror because you'll love the slasher film-like details. And I'd also recommend this for fans of thrillers, specifically authors like B.A. Paris and Greer Hendricks, because the amnesia and the secrets just help this book ooze suspense. Out of all the books on this list, Final Girls, it definitely has the most gore. So here's a content warning for violence, and I definitely mean this one. There is a lot of blood. But maybe you've already read Final Girls and are looking for something new from Sager. Luckily, he's going to publish a new book, Home Before Dark, on June 30th of 2020. This sounds like it's going to be right up my alley. There's more horror movie kind of elements that play with the thriller genre. Really looking forward to that one, so I think you and I should put that on our to-read list. And there you have it, my top 5 surprise twists in literature. Did one or all of these get you in the end? Or maybe you had it all figured out from the first chapter. Hopefully, some of you out there are gullible like me, so leave a comment if we're kindred spirits in that way. And as always, don't forget to leave a comment about what you've been reading. I love those recommendations, love, love, love them, and I know our audience does too. Any book I mentioned today are listed in the description, along with information about how you can start downloading these books from the Goffstown Public Library's digital resources. All you need is your library card to start accessing some amazing free content. Like and share this video if you got something out of it. And don't forget to subscribe because we've got awesome content from the Goffstown Public Library, like book talks for all ages, story times, how-tos, crafts, and more. I'll see you back here next Saturday for another episode of Book Talk with Michelle. And this is a big secret, I'll actually be in the library next week. Yay! But until then, follow the Goffstown Public Library on social media for even more book recommendations. Or visit goffstownlibrary.com to see what's in the catalog yourself. Again, I'm Michelle with the Goffstown Public Library, and I'll check you out later. Bye!